Hey, welcome. It's attorney Mark Blane to another monthly book review for the newsletter. And for this book review, I'm actually going to go a little bit old school and pull a classic from 1989. And this one's called The Habits or the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey. This is a powerful lessons in personal change. The way Covey organized his knowledge in this book is just simply outstanding. And in this video, I'm going to go through 2 of the habits, my most challenging habit in the book, and then of course my favorite habit in the book. And for those of you who have not read the book, it's organized in a way that flow upon each other. So habit 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 7 build upon each other. And habits 1 through 3 actually deal with you as a person in leading yourself responsibly for yourself. And then in habits 4, 5, and 6, Covey goes into what he calls the interdependence relationships, the social relationships to lead other people, which is ultimately the goal of life, working with others. And then the 7th habit, it's a renewal generational habit. I'll touch upon that as well. So let's get into it. I would say that my most challenging habit in this book is habit 5, and it's what Covey calls seek first to understand, then be understood. And what he means by that is whenever we're in a situation with another person, we always want to ask ourselves what the other person wants first, as opposed to what we want. And in order to do that, we have to listen empathetically to the other person. Another way of saying that is to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. And Covey goes on to say that we are really bad, we're great for talking, but we're bad at listening. We weren't really taught how to listen in the way or empathetically that is mutual benefit for yourself and others. And so he talks about that. And I found that quite profound. It's challenging to do. And in 2 ways, it's related to what I do as a personal injury lawyer. And number 1, it's basically, I find myself, just like any trial lawyer, we're always in negotiations with a case, whether it's determining settlement value and negotiating that and advocating that for our clients. We're always in a negotiation, either in mediation, arbitration, or even at trial. So what we want to do is use a habit 5, basically see what the other person wants, what they believe their strong points are, what we know our strong points to be, and see if we can meet in the middle into what Covey calls a synergistic resolution. So that's one way we find that habit in trial and in personal injury. And another way we find it is actually with jury selection. Actually, when we go to trial, as trial lawyers, we actually have an opportunity to speak directly to the jury. We get that twice in trial, in jury selection and then in closing argument. But in jury selection, we use this habit because when we ask questions of the juror, the potential jurors for the case, we have to know if they're going to be impartial and fair for the case, because we want to have a fair fight in that trial. Not only for ourselves, but also for the defense. We want to make sure that they can be impartial. And so when we're asking questions of the juror, we want to listen empathetically, put ourselves in their shoes. And it's a skill, it's an art. And that way we can see if it's going to be a good juror for the case or not. And so we want to listen empathetically, and we find that all the time. In fact, the Jerry Spence Trial Lawyers College teaches empathetic listening, and this is spot on with habit 5 in this book. So seek first to understand, then be understood. It's challenging, but so important in life. And then my favorite habit is number 7. It's called Sharpen the Saw. It's what Covey calls it. And it's basically a renewal generation habit. So what we do there, what he does, is he goes deep and he draws upon Eastern philosophy. When I read this book, it blew my mind. And he divides it into 4 parts, I believe. The first part is the physical. And he talks about how exercise is important because your greatest asset is yourself. And to sharpen the saw, to keep your wits about you sharp, you do the physical first, get that up, right? Because it's health first. Wealth, your health is your wealth. He talks about exercises he does. Covey was big into calisthenics and bike riding. And then he goes into what he calls the social, which is the heart. And this is what he means when he talks about meaningful communications with others. And and you want to always renew that. And then number 3, he goes into the mind or the mental, and he's always talking about how you want to keep yourself sharp with different information, put yourself in different situations with books, magazines. Read a book a month, read 2 books a month, or kick it up to a book a week, and always keep sharp, always stay the student, always keep learning and doing your best. And then lastly, on Sharpen the Saw, he goes into the spiritual, which is basically prayer, meditation, and ultimately service to others. I mean, this book should be required reading in school. It's if you don't have it, you should get it and just keep it in your home library, read it. This is a book that is timeless classic. You can reread this every 1 or 2 years. It never gets old. It's great life lessons for anyone navigating life and with themselves and then with others ultimately. So I hope you enjoyed that book review. Check out the newsletter. I got a new smoothie recipe. And of course, as always, if you listen to this video all the way through, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, take care. Bye-bye.